guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
Write them down. It's like a personal contract with ourselves.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Here we go, boys. The only shows in America, the two versions of Write That Down here, Purple Daily and this, the OG edition, that actually keeps track of our predictions with statistics, holds each other accountable. A lot of football potential predictions here. Curious to know where the room is going to go. We got Twins spring training, Wolves and Wild. So this could be all over the place here. Before we dive in, a shout out to perhaps the best frozen pizza on the market right now. The leader, if this was like a free agent board, this would be the Trey Smith, who's not a free agent because he got franchised. I would franchise tag Legit Pizza.
Same.
Is probably what would happen. You can find them inside the frozen section of local grocery stores. Stone-baked, cracker-thin crust, that robust, zesty tomato sauce. And yes, I do enjoy cutting these pizzas into squares, like any good Minnesotan would. You can find those Legit Pizzas, like I said, inside a grocery store near you and have an authentic at-home pizza parlor experience. All right, how are we feeling here, gentlemen, going into early March free agency season of Write That Down?
I'm feeling like I'm off to I'm still tracking the ball. So, it's early, and I'm still trying. I had a rough year, okay? So I'm trying to get back on track, and I feel like I just need to track the ball, get my at-bats, try and make contact. So not too much yet for me.
Okay. So you're working off a tee, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm getting some coaching.
From the ground up, you're trying to rebuild your swing.
I'm getting some coaching. Exactly right. Inside out.
Write this down.
So here's how it works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. We have a statistical database going back 7 or 8 years. The actual segment goes back a decade, and then we started keeping track of all the predictions a couple years in. And so if you want to be a guest listener or participant like Phil D is about to here shortly, you can send Declan a message through the SKOR North app. There's a feedback tab in there. So we'll start with Judd. Looks like that cage work you've been doing, that T work, the L screen work is not working.
Not good.
You said Dante DiVincenzo would not play another regular season game all year.
DiVincenzo is playing again and playing very well.
Yeah, he's chucking it, man. You said you gave us permission last week to take this off the board. Yeah. You said Tom Brady will not finish his career with the Buccaneers. He will play for another team. If something crazy happens, we can revisit if you'd like.
It's all over.
Bad week for me on the parlays here. I said in an NFL parlay, Stafford back to the Rams, which hit, Fields to the Jets, which is a maybe, and then the Vikes would franchise tag Sam Darnold.
What was that sound?
I said the Wolves would beat the Lakers, Anthony Edwards would outscore Luka, and Jaden would grab 10 or more rebounds. I think Ant outscored Luka, but not a great week there. Listeners had nothing off the board, so let's highlight. This is one of the oldest predictions still on the board for the listeners from Gibby 5 years ago. He said over the first decade, Kevin Stefanski will win twice as many playoff games as Mike Zimmer, and over their careers, A.J. Brown will finish his career with more yards than Irv Smith. Because those guys were drafted in the same draft, if my recollection holds.
Irv Smith is still playing, right?
Is he somewhere?
Who did I see him with last season? I had no idea.
I feel like he's got a lot of work to do to catch A.J. Brown in those categories.
Boy, was he a disappointment.
Yeah, super athletic. Man, when he would catch a pass, you thought there was something there.
He looked the part.
Yep.
Unfortunately, did not play the part.
All right, Declan said CM Punk would win the Elimination Chamber.
Bad beat?
So close. He was the final 2. He was with Cena.
Okay. I missed that. Sorry.
Said Carlos Correa would hit his first spring training home run sometime in the last week. And you said the Wolves will convert Jalen Clark's contract to a standard deal so he could be playoff eligible. Well, there we go.
Very nice.
So it's early here. All of us are off to a pretty slow start. I do lead the batting average category with a 200 average. Judd 167, Declan 111. Listeners still looking for their first hit. Nobody has a home run yet. All-time stats, Declan 346 average, leads the pack. Judd 321. I'm at 279. Listeners 266. Listeners do lead the home run category all-time by 10 with 70 career home runs. All right, dudes. Let's bring another well-named fellow into the room here. Phil D making his debut.
Hello.
I'll write that down. And for the YouTube audience, Judd is in the middle of a Phil sandwich here. That's right.
Wow, I was hoping to avoid that comment.
It's what you've been hoping for 10 years. I'll write that down.
Yep. But nothing personal, Phil D. But no, I was hoping to avoid that.
Phil D, what is your background as a Minnesota sports fan?
Grew up all my life in Minnesota, born in St. Cloud, then moved to Stillwater. So yeah, mainly was like a Wild, Twins, Vikings fan. But then my freshman year at the U of M was the Jimmy Buckets year for the Wolves. So yeah, I got like $10 college night tickets to game 82 against the Nuggets. And yeah, I've kind of hooked since then. So mainly Wolves guy now, but pretty much catch anything I can.
Is that when like students would dress up in costumes behind the basket, or was that earlier than that?
That would have been earlier. This was like 2018.
Because I think it was like the Rubio era where we had, maybe it was 10 years ago, and they would
supporters, right?
Yeah. But they'd dress up as like cartoon characters and stuff. It would be like a college game. I think that's what they were trying to do to get people in the door at the time. Target Center, they weren't winning a whole lot of games during that.
Yeah, luckily it was actually a little bit busy when they got Jimmy Butler.
Yep. So, okay, we're going to start with Phil D, over to Judd, over to Dex, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room here, and we'll
Write this down.
Make some predictions, boys. Here we go, Phil.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll start easy with my first one. Rob Dillingham will set his career high in scoring tonight against the Hornets with 20 points.
Oh.
Or more.
20 or more?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I have not seen an injury report yet, but it is a back-to-back. This would be a great spot for Conley to kick his feet up, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure why Conley would play tonight. Doesn't seem like the Conley game.
Yeah, just kick your feet up, Mike.
Conley needs some time off.
Enjoy some time in Charlotte, North Carolina, and let Rob Dillingham take the wheel.
Write this down.
All right, Judd.
All right. With the National Hockey League trade deadline coming up at 2:00 Central on Friday, write this down. The Wild will make a trade for a player who hasn't played a game in the minor leagues this season before Friday's deadline. So they'll make a trade for a player that they will plug in. I don't want to say it's going to be like a huge trade, but I do think that they've got at least one more trade left. So a player who has not played in a minor league game. Okay.
So you think that the big move happened last week, that this is only going to be minor stuff on Friday?
Here's the problem. If they are going to bring Eriksson Ek and Kaprizov back before the regular season ends, then the answer is yes. And that's their plan right now, or what Bill Guerin talked about at a press conference on Sunday. The issue is I'm not convinced because Kaprizov, these timetables keep being pushed by the doctors. So if they come to Guerin on like Thursday and say, okay, these guys probably can't play until the playoffs, you LTIR Eriksson Ek, which Kaprizov is, their salaries are off the books. And now you can make a substantial trade, and then everyone can come back for the playoffs because the NHL has one little weird rule. The salary cap doesn't count when the playoffs start.
It's so weird. Because was it the Lightning or someone or Vegas?
Both of them.
Okay,
both of them have done that.
It's hilarious.
Write this down.
All right, Dex.
All right, write this down. Let's go with this one. I'm gonna buy the stock now, and I think it's gonna happen. Matt Wallner will be the Twins' opening day leadoff hitter.
You're pushing this.
Yep.
I mean, the
I've
Twins
been
are
pushing
too.
this for a year. That they should be hitting near the top of the lineup. Mm-hmm. Now finally they listen to Dex tweets.
It's happening in Florida right
happening.
now.
Yeah.
Like there's just evidence every single day.
Only against righties? They wouldn't do it against lefties?
God, no. They would not
throw him down.
Lefties. Yeah, no. But against righties, Sonny Gray will likely start opening day for St. Louis. So yeah.
Write this down.
Try to decide how much positive Phil wants to go, or how far positive Phil wants to go here with the Timberwolves' upcoming winning streak. So they've got one in a row here, right? After last night. They got the Hornets tonight. They've got Oh, it's 2 in a row. Sorry, the Phoenix game. So 2 in a row. Then it's Charlotte. Then Miami, kind of feisty. San Antonio. So I'll just keep it simple. The Timberwolves will, by the time we convene for next week's Write That Down, have a 5-game winning streak. A 5-game winning streak for the so they've won 2. They got 3 games between now and next week. The Timberwolves will be in the midst of a 5-game winning streak.
Wow.
In the next week.
Wow.
And that would then put them at a high water mark on the season, 8 games above 500. And maybe even the Rockets lost last night. They keep falling down. The Warriors are going to be, you're going to have to definitely keep pace with that team after the Butler trade.
Last night again, man. Whew.
Yeah, Steph and LeBron with these trades of Butler and Luka Doncic are like, oh, finally, okay. Let's rock and roll here. Okay, Phil D.
All right, this one's partially inspired by Judd's rant on the hockey show last week with Jesse Pierce. There will be announced changes to the Wild training/medical staff in the offseason. I think like between like Boston being mad at them for the McAvoy thing and then how these last 2 years have gone with injuries, I think I need like a press release or like a Billy G press conference.
Yeah. And at some point in time too, like with the Twins, you just have to put some blame. Like, it's like, we can't have that many guys hurt, right?
Yeah.
It might not be, it's certainly entirely their fault, but it does feel like a very Twins like, hey, we're going to fire a couple of guys and see if that helps out is coming.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. The training staff thing, I feel like sometimes it's productive and it actually helps behind the scenes, but oftentimes it's a scapegoat because like, you can just go get some new trainers and it'll calm the fans down. Yeah. Fire their asses. So we'll see. Is it a scapegoat move or something actually productive? All right, back to Judd.
All right. Write this down. By July 1st, the Mavericks will have fired GM Nico Harrison.
Wow.
They're gonna blow him out. They can't do this. Like, their PR is so bad now. And what? Davis came in his first game, played great, got hurt. Now Kyrie has torn his ACL. People were already pissed off. Now they're just done. I think they're going to have to. I think he's going to have to be the guy to go, if nothing else, to retain like season tickets. Nico Harrison by July 1st, you fired.
Think about how wild that would be, though. That if you were to have come to the conclusion that he's terrible at his job 2 months ago,
I know
you could have preserved all of this. And I guess to defend him a little bit, it's hard to defend just upright trading a player of Lucas, the out of shape stuff. Yeah, like it is a problem. But in fairness to Nico, he thought, well, we're gonna have AD and Kyrie, and of course AD has an injury history, and Kyrie does too. But you couldn't have expected both those guys to maybe just be out for the season. AD played 30 minutes for the Mavericks.
Yep.
30 minutes. And Kyrie has a player option that coming off an ACL, he probably exercises the player option, but oh my gosh. And and it's good news for the Wolves because they don't play Dallas again this year, but you're trying to fend off like the worst case scenarios here. The team's behind you. Okay, well, Spurs, Wemby out, Mavs, everyone out, Phoenix quit. Last night you had that weird dust up with Budenholzer and Kevin Durant, where he like grabbed Durant's arm and
just fire
Durant
the coach.
Pulled his arm away.
Just fire him. What are we doing here?
Well, Bud went from being. No, it's funny because Bucks fans wanted Bud fired during the year that they won the championship.
Yes.
That they thought they won the championship despite Coach Bud, which is hilarious.
Write this down.
All right, Dex.
Write this down. So I'm going to buy another big Dante DiVincenzo influence game. So he had that big performance on March 2nd earlier this week where he's a plus 26 on the court. He has only 4 such games of plus 20 or more in terms of the plus minus this season in like 46 games. So write this down. By next week's Write That Down, we'll get another plus 20 performance from Dante DiVincenzo. Write it down.
I think that's a home run if it hits because
it's only happened 10% of the time in games played this season. So yeah, I would say it's a home run. But he's been money. He had another really solid. Nah was like plus 29 yesterday. But yeah, I think we're gonna see another big influence game from him.
Yeah, we'll have our hottest Wolves takes on Flagrant Howls today too. By the way,
Write that down.
Judd already texted us one. He's got one queued up that we might lead with here. Okay, write this down. I think I'm going to keep the Timberwolves train rolling here. How far does Positive Phil want to go? This schedule is on paper, man. Like they should be able to go on a huge run here.
Go as far as you want.
Because I'm trying to do the math on getting to 50 wins, which sounds crazy because they're only 34 and 29. But I already have them winning the next 3, so that gets them to 37 and 29. So from there, if they pull off my first prediction, they'd have to go 13 and 3 then the rest of the way. The hardest games would be like at Denver on March 12th. That Pistons game at home is feisty. They play at Denver again. And then at Milwaukee, at Memphis. I mean, screw it. The Timberwolves will get to 50 wins. They will go on a crazy run in the month of March and early April. And they would essentially finish then 18 and 3 in their final 21 games. That's right.
Love it. Love that prediction. There it is.
Watch them lose the next
Wolves.
3.
Ant won't show up for half of them, but I love it.
Yeah, Ant, please don't get suspended.
Well, how about last night? How about last night? Gets off to a really good start, and then he just sort of like, I'm done.
He does that sometimes in these. Well, the whole team. It was like, all right, they went in. Maxey is out. Embiid might never play again, and let's just. But they still have a couple. And Paul George is out there, kind of. Poor Paul George. But yeah, they kind of they did what they had to do to preserve some energy against Charlotte tonight.
Write this down.
So all right, back to Phil D for your third and final prediction.
All right, I'll stick with Wolves, but I think this one actually will happen, unlike Phil's. Naz Reid will re-sign with the Timberwolves for at least $32 million a year.
Yeah, it's price does keep going up for him.
Yeah, even like that bad game against Phoenix, he's still like a plus 30 or whatever, plus 26.
Right. That's the key is like, even if because he does mix in 1 every 10 games, these horrible shooting nights. But if he can still have a positive influence and him and Julius on the court together is interesting. They can space it. We'll see when Rudy comes back, but I like it. Great stuff here from a fellow Phil with 1 L. Since you've got this platform right now, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get here today?
I'll keep it standard here. Just wife and then parents. Yeah. Parents helping me get into the sports and then wife allowing me to keep it up. So, yeah. And I appreciate you guys keeping me entertained throughout the day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Phil. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem.
We'll see you again sometime.
Absolutely.
All right.
See you, Phil.
Phil D.
Yeah.
Phil D.
These
Phil
Phils
Lam.
these Phillips with 2 L's too. It's like, you don't need 2 L's. It's inefficient. Takes you longer to sign
I
your
got 2
name.
D's. I got 2 D's.
It's kind of inefficient.
I
Like,
never
what is
thought
this?
of it
What
like
what does
that.
the second D do
Right, 'cause
that
it's still
the first
Judd.
one can't?
Yeah, you're right.
A lot
It's
of-
still Judd. It doesn't.
A lot of people
yeah.
think the spelling of Declan. Number one, they usually think there's a K in Declan
Or a D on the end.
or a D on the end,
Deckland.
and it's like
What?
no, it's N. It's Declan. Declan.
Really,
But,
Deckland?
Oh, I get it all the time.
I've
Like
seen
people
that,
spell
yeah.
my name. Yeah, happens all the time. I see it now. As someone who can't spell myself, I totally emphasize with that. But I it is kind of funny to me how they get there.
I gotta be honest. Of all the names, Declan to me is very cut and dry. There's no K. It's a C ordinarily, and the D on the end. I would have never thought of that.
It's
Like
excessive. Yeah.
if your name was Deckland, I'd be like, that's a sort of an.
There's
interesting
probably
name.
a company named Deckland, right? Like I could Google.
Well, I
Probably
mean,
is.
could that be,
If there's not, there you go. There's a free business idea for you. Deckland. I don't know. It doesn't. When you Google it, there's your business idea, Dex. There's your side hustle. Deckland.
I can confirm too. The Polad family did love Declans. There was 2 Declans at Go Radio and Go MN at once upon a time. So
They loved
a
him
lot of
so
good
much that
Declans.
they fired both of you.
fired
they,
them
they
both?
said both Declans can walk out the door. Works out great.
That's real love.
Judd, let's shout out MSP Plumbing and Heating before we make our final trip around the room with predictions.
Yes, exactly right. You know what? Write this down. You can trust the folks, my friends at MSP Plumbing, Heating and Air. How do I know that? Because they have been in my house the past couple of weeks. Actually, a couple of of weeks ago, they came to check out the furnace, which was in tip-top shape. But they looked at the water heater and the water softener, and they said, Sports Dad, you got some problems. And I said, no, I don't, because I've got you guys at MSP to take care of the problems. They came yesterday, replaced the entire system. Absolutely outstanding work. We're talking about 100% family-owned and operated business that is committed to taking care of you and your family, just like they took care of us. Great work across the board, and the most important thing here, folks, is trust, and you can trust them. For service, give them a call, 651-615-4292, or check out their website. That is, very conveniently, callmsp.com. Call msp.com and learn what Sports Dad did, which is MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air has all of the answers for some of the key issues that might arise in your home.
Write that down. I don't have a pencil. Well, remember that.
All right, Joe, what's your final prediction?
Okay, my final prediction is this. A year ago, the Twins were, and we talked about this, I think, a couple of weeks ago on the Twins show. They were last in MLB in 2024 with 65 stolen bases. Write this down, though. Boys are going to run a little bit more this season. The Twins will steal 80 or more bases as a team in 2025.
All right.
So I'm going to put them on at least 15 more, if not more. I think they're going to run some more.
Well, if they got Byron Buxton stealing third base in exhibition games, I would think that's a sign for.
And if Castro's going to play, which, if he's here, he will. He can steal bases.
Mm-hmm. Bader's good for probably 10 to 15 too.
Yeah, that's another good one. So I think we're talking about, I don't think that they're going to jump to like the top 10, but I definitely think that there's room to be in the second half, like 15 on.
They stole 95 actually in 2017, the year they made the wild card. And then it dropped down to 47. 28 in the Bomba Squad team had 28 stolen bases in 162
and that
games.
was a full season. That was not the COVID year.
And Rocco just doesn't run.
He
doesn't like to run much.
He's a very risk-averse manager, which I think plays to like his career and some of the. True. He's kind of talked about some of that.
Yeah, true.
That is it worth if a guy slides in and jams a thumb? Is it worth it? Yeah.
Well, certain guys it is. Yeah. Willie Castro, knock yourself out.
It is. It's a math equation, and some teams don't have enough great base dealers to make it work. But you really need to be like 80% success rate to make the math work out. And the Twins, I think last year were not only did they steal the fewest amount, they were near the bottom, if not the worst percentage base stealing team too.
Yep.
So it's just all
Write this down.
Stuff to fix. All right, Dex.
All right, write this down. I'm gonna sneak this in. By the time I think people are consuming this game will be happening, and even the result could be in. But I would have to make this prediction. My baby brother-in-law is playing for Matamidi today in the state tournament, and they are the underdog against St. Cloud Cathedral. They lost to St. Cloud Cathedral in overtime in the regular season this year. So I'll buy some Zephyr stock. I'll please the in-laws here. Matamidi beats St. Cloud Cathedral in their quarterfinal round today at the tourney.
Let's go.
That's very cool. So he plays?
He's going to play. Actually, I'm pretty certain on this. When they do, the introductions, which they do for every team, I think he should be like the first person introduced because they go by number, and he's number 2.
What's his name?
So I would, and he's probably going to start too. He's like, there's only 3 seniors on this team. So I'll say Matamidi will. Like my wife, it was on her way in these treacherous roads. Dude, I saw some of the MnDOT posts and from our guy Kenny even this morning. Even the metro, like the roads are a disaster right now. So I'm honestly a little perturbed that she's on the roads right now, but I'm hoping she gets there okay.
They aren't plowed sufficiently yet, but I was told that the ice was not bad. That comes from Dawn, who drove to work today.
Traffic and weather on the 8s here.
Traffic and weather.
Minnesota Sports.
She had the car. She got out. Hey. I went outside and I shoveled the walk and cleaned off her car. Husband of the year material right here.
That's a nice job.
Sorry,
job.
Gals,
Doing the bare minimum.
How's it the bare minimum? That's heavy snow, and I'm 55.
Yeah, it's heart attack. It's the heart attack snow.
I thought to myself, there's a fighting chance I am not on. I'm face down.
This is how you go.
Where's Judd? We need Judd to make his write that down.
Write this down. Judd is
He's
dead
in the
right
hospital.
now.
Yeah.
Write this down.
The hospital. Oh,
Judd here for Methodist. Okay, write this down. It's been a while since I've made a wrestling prediction, so
Nice.
I should have made the John Cena heel turn prediction.
Yeah.
That would have been such a great one.
Well, I think you and I were talking about it, but it was after the fact of our write that down accountability.
Yeah,
last week.
I did
You
float
called
it. Yeah. But it was off the record. So put this one on the record. John Cena will win. I don't know which championship it is. Whatever, like his 17th championship. He will win a championship at WrestleMania. Is my prediction. I don't know. They have a couple different ones. I can't remember which one Cody has.
He's going to fight for the Universal one. So
Okay.
he'll fight Cody because Gunther and Jey Uso are fighting for the heavyweight one.
So Jed, he's about to pass Ric Flair's record of total world championships. If John and his now, he might have to change out of the jean shorts because now he's a bad guy. Although like bad guys would wear jean shorts because it's a weird fashion choice. So maybe he finds like black jean shorts or something.
Well, he used to wear the black ones. Like he wore the black ones during like his
did.
first title reign. So and someone was like, you know what? If you're with The Rock, I want full leather shorts, black leather shorts. Like just lean into this super hardcore.
Yeah.
So are he and The Rock back now full time?
No, Cena is going to do a lot more once he's done filming his current movie. He'll be like mostly full time the rest of the year. But no, they're just they're kind of part time WrestleMania season performers that pop in once in a while.
Can Cena act at all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's not
He's pretty
Like The
fun.
Rock, I think is like The Rock plays his roles.
The Rock knows his role.
Yeah,
And
but
shuts his mouth.
he's not bad. But anyway, yeah. When I've seen John trying to act, it's a little bit.
What's crazy is
more
so
comfortable.
The Rock was the highest earning actor in America last year. He made like $83 million or something. But there's another former wrestler that is not quite on that level, but he literally is like presenting at the Oscars last weekend. Dave Bautista has gone from being this brooding powerbomb wrestler from 20 years ago. In fact, if you would have asked young Declan and Phil Mackey back 20 years ago, of all the people on the current WWE roster, The Rock would be the obvious, like, who's going to be an A-list actor?
Yeah.
Who else would be an A-list actor? You'd have to go a long way to get to Dave Bautista.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, he was in the Marvel series, which helped. He was part of Guardians of the Galaxy, and then he's been in some he was in that M. Night Shyamalan movie that came out a few years ago. He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's leaned up a little bit too. He used to be just this massive,
He's
bulky,
lost a ton of
hulking
weight.
figure. But I think he's getting leaner so he can take on more roles because he's a legitimate, serious actor. Crazy.
But yeah, actually, I would disagree. Actually, I kind of like Cena more than The Rock in terms of like funniness and acting.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan was a great actor back in the day too.
Underlips.
Well, how about Jesse? I ain't got time to bleed.
Jesse legitimately was a pretty good actor when asked to play action roles. So those are the Write That Down predictions. Those are Judd's takes on the world of wrestling. And we'll see you here tomorrow for a little reckless speculation Thursday leading into Vikings free agency week with our guy Darren Doogie Wolfson. See you guys.